We've got different kinds of jab. We've got a long range jab, which is the arm at full extent. A short range jab when someone's close, and that's just very short, hardly any arm movement, and it's just mostly body movement. I'm going to show them on the pads with Matty in a minute. We're also going to do a left lean jab, which is coming to here, a right lean jab, which is coming to here. If I can just explain that. So just take them off for a sec, Matt, and we'll just work with the guard a sec. So just to start off with, a long range jab is just here. So that's a long range jab. I'm working from long range. A short range jab is when I'm here. And generally use it for the body, and it's just coming here. Hardly any body movement, hardly any arm movement, but all body movement. So if you look at my hip here, and my right leg, my hip's going to commit inwards, and then I'm going to drive forward like that. So I'm going to get a lot of power from a couple of inches. A left lean jab and a right lean jab are basically making windows for myself to get into an opponent. So Matty's got his guard here. Now from there, straight on, there's no window for this jab. If I lean forward, I create an opening. Bosh, there. And the same the other way, if you can see it here. Now from my point of view, here, there's no entry for the jab. If I lean to here, I've made an opening. So if I'll just do it here. If you look at my guard there, imagine you're throwing a jab. There's no entry there. But if you look at from that angle, from here, so come from here to here, there's your window between my two hands. So what you do is you lean over to the side where the hands are parted, and you make an opening for your jab. That might be left or right. So we'll just show you quickly on the pads, and we're going to get the lads to come in and hit the pads. Again, you've got a long range jab, short range jab, left lean, right lean. And what I'm doing here, I'm keeping my hands here, coming here, and just turning as I hit, just getting a little bit of a twist. That's not really important. I mean, you know, you do get that bit of a twist, and it can help to cut an opponent if you twist on impact. But you can also go to the right cross. The right cross is a punch on its own, with very few variations. You can angle it differently and all the rest of it. But basically, you're just coming across here from a guard position and turning your hand as you come in, trying to hit with the major two knuckles there. If you look at the feet, it's important with the feet that you come straight onto the ball of your foot and push your whole body weight forward. And if you come to my stomach, you're punching from there, from the hara, this way. So rather than punching here, which is very much like a boxer would do it, and they do get a lot of power, we're trying to punch from here. That way you utilise your whole body weight. If you punch from the centre, which is the hara, basically it's your centre of gravity, you utilise leg weights and torso weight. And it's important as well that you turn on the foot. You imagine with the foot that you're squashing an insect and you're driving off it like you would a starter's block when you're running. Okay, you can do a half cross and just jab with it without really pushing off there, but if you want the big punch, you need to push from there and you need to drive forward. Your body weight needs to go in the same direction as the punch. If it doesn't, then you're losing power. If you look at the feet again, the way the traditionals tend to do it, and if you look at what they tend to do is they tend to push from here, but they don't allow that foot to turn. If you look at my arms, they tend to use hikite, which is here, which as well as bringing your vital fence, your guard away, which it does, you're also sending a lot of power out the back. So there's power coming forward, but there's power going back, so it's power derivative. What we're looking at doing is getting everything forward. Okay, so just bump from here. I prefer to punch this way than to turn. You can find your own way with it, it doesn't matter. As long as it does the job, that's all that matters. So, just show you on the pad, and if we'll get the camera to scan up and down so you can see the foot movement as well. So if we start at the top and move down and look at the feet. There we go, moving. So if you can see what I'm doing, there's hardly any arm movement at all. Okay, not very much arm movement, it's just body movement. This way. It's also very relaxed. My hand is relaxed right until impact. If you watch when I take the glove off, Okay, just bring that in. Okay, you probably notice as well, and you'll be picking fault with this, that I keep my thumb out. I feel more relaxed doing that. I still knock people out doing it, so it doesn't really matter. As long as you're doing the job, as long as you're hitting with the knuckles. So we're looking at it again. Do a few more, a bit more powerful. Looking at the body weight going forward and turning on the ball of the foot. Okay, we're moving on to the hook punches. Again, hook punches are really effective in real situations. Two reasons: you use a lot of body weight when you throw it. Second reason is when you throw a hook punch in a real situation, it comes outside of peripheral vision. When people get into real fights, they get tunnel vision. Your punch comes outside of that, so they literally don't see it. So that's one of the reasons. When you throw a hook, people think it's telegraphed and they think it won't be effective. A hook punch is the most prolific knockout punch of them all because it comes outside of tunnel vision. By understanding the person you're dealing with, understanding that he's got adrenaline and he'll get tunnel vision, you can understand that if you throw the punch outside of that, he's unlikely to see it. Also, when you throw a punch on a hook, your targeting changes from 1.5 inch to about 6 inches. When you hit a straight punch, that's your target if you want to get a knockout. When you hit a hook punch, you've got all the jawline right the way up here. That's what we're aiming to do, hit the jawline. That's a direct link to the brain. That causes disorientation and consciousness. So you're hitting bone on bone here. Okay, so when you hit a hook, you've got all that. We work with a left hook and a right hook. With a right hook, we're working off a left lead stance. A right hook comes off the back leg and it comes round to here. You can either punch this way or this way. When I've trained with amateurs, they punch that way. That's the way they're favoured. With professionals, they tend to punch that way. Sometimes people punch this way. Okay, it doesn't really matter as long as you're doing the job. It doesn't matter what colour the cat is as long as it kills mice. That's what Dave Turton always says. So, as long as it does the job, it doesn't matter. That way, who cares? Try and make connection with the major knuckles, that's the important thing. I favour this way, because if I miss the jaw this way, I've missed the jaw completely. If I miss the jaw that way, the target, I can hit with any of them knuckles. With the left hook, you're working off the lead leg. You can reverse this, of course, it doesn't matter, but for now we're working off the lead leg. If we're working off the lead leg, what people tend to do is they tend to punch from here, but they've got no leverage, so they're going like this. They're going onto the ball of the foot, but they've got no kind of start. So if we come back to the hips again, what we're doing with a left hook is we're coming to here first. We're going to cop the hip, commit it, and then when we come round with the hook, we've got more power. So the way I do this is I do it as though I'm throwing a feint right, or I'm just slipping a punch. Then my hip's already pre-copped, bosh, then I come in with a left hook. Left hook is an acquired technique. It's very hard to be effective with it. Once you know what you're doing, it's really good. It's very effective, but you have to spend a lot of time on it. So we'll just show you on the pads. Okay, so with the right hook, we're just looking flush here, this way. This way. If you just look at the feet, I'll just throw a couple slow. There's no real effort there. Same with the left hook. With the left hook, commit your hip first. Okay, so you commit your hip. I'm also bending my knees. That's going to give me a bit more push into it. Normal uppercut is there where you just clip the chin. Okay, and you can have degrees in between that. You can come here, or straight under the chin. The third way to do it, which is out in a street situation, when you quite often end up this way, so Matt's bent over, I've got him by the hair or by the jacket, and I'm just rattling him underneath this way, so you're just kind of going boom, boom, boom. They're good knockout punches because the person doesn't see the punch coming. So that's a good way to practice, just grabbing and uppercutting. So if I was doing it on the pad, I would just grab the top of the pad and just come bang, 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 practice here, or even up, or even palm. Okay, so that's a good way, pulling and hitting. It's not something many people practice, but it's very effective. It's just to come here, this way.